Welcome back to the Extra Innings. I'm Anna Semba here with Jeffrey Nelson to give you guys the extra scoop about what's going on with the Western Nebraska Pioneers.
It's nice to be back, isn't it?
It is. We were off both last week, just enjoying the fourth and being on the road with the guys. But this week we are back, and this is our second to last show. I can't believe it's coming to an end now.
Yeah, it's crazy. I mean, the season started at the end of May, and to think that we're like halfway through July already is so wild, and so many games have gone by. Obviously, for you, you've been at some of the road games. For me, I've been to all the road games, and it just feels like it's been forever that this season's gone on, and to think that it's only 50 games is pretty wild.
Yeah, no, it's definitely been to say that it's been quick is definitely not the case, but not in the way of like it's been all bad or all good. It's just been like so much all the time. 50 games is a lot of games in just in let's say 2 months, because we played May 28th and then we're ending the season on the 24th of July. So that's practically 2 months.
Yeah, and you think about how it goes for every game and the fact that usually we have meetings with the rest of the interns around 3 o'clock or so, and we get to the ballpark at 3, and we don't leave until 10, depending on what time the game ends. That's 7 hours of your day. So it's pretty wild, and that's probably why it feels like it's been a long time, but it's been a fun time at that for sure.
We'll save it for next week, but just let's start thinking about all the things that we've reminisced on this season. So far, the Pioneers have played at home on the 6th, the 7th, had an off day on the 8th, and then they played the 9th and the 10th. And they have won all those games.
Yes, they have. And they've been playing some pretty good baseball. In fact, 3 of those games have been by the Mercy. And so that's been pretty good for the Pioneers. Or 3 of those games have been well out of reach, let's say that. And it's been a pretty good time for them. Of course, they've been at home for a lot of the season. And that's where they've built their record at 18-6 at home, which isn't too shabby at all, no matter what team you are.
Yeah, and I think when you look at the rest of the league, like none of them are playing as many games as the Pioneers are playing. So that's something to be considerate of when you're looking at the record. Even though our record might not look as amazing as these other teams, some of the other teams in the league, you have to remember we have played more games than any of these teams in the league. But just a reminder for tonight's game. It is the league.
It's the Western Nebraska Legion All-Stars.
Yeah, Legion All-Stars. So we're getting some of the players from some of the high schools
from
here.
Gering, Scottsbluff, Sydney, and Alliance.
Yep.
So those 4 cities will be combined into one team, coached by the head coach of Gering baseball. Mm-hmm. And they'll take on the Pioneers at Oregon Trail Park.
Yeah, and today's also Fill the Park. So there's a few more businesses that you can get your Fill the Park tickets at if you'd like a ticket. So
there's only 5 games after today at home.
Yeah.
So make sure if you want to come out to Oregon Trail Park that you do so, and you get your tickets at WNPioneers.com, or you stop by the office, or you call us at 308-633-BALL.
Yeah, so no games other than today for this weekend, but the Pioneers will be back on Tuesday, July 16th, for a 3-game series against the
Dodge City
A's, which I know is going to be an interesting game. If you want to come out for some...
We'll ask our first player guest and maybe our coach as well, as we're going to have Kieran Gaffney, Shane Sharkey on the show, along with Peyton Gherkin, one of our interns as well.
So, yeah, let's bring in our first guest, actually, Kieran Gaffney. He's been actually one of the most solid players on the team.
He's been very consistent. I'll put it at that.
Yeah, from start to finish, he's been doing absolutely really well. Hit some home runs this past week.
Mm-hmm. Had his first career walk-off as well. Mm-hmm. So we'll bring him in after the break.
Yep. All right. So we are back from our break, and now we have Kieran Gaffney sitting next to us. How are you doing today?
I'm pretty good. How are you guys?
We're good. We're good. Glad to see you playing on the field as you've played so many games so far this year. What's it been like for you?
It's been a lot of fun. I mean, you're playing baseball all summer. What's not to enjoy? But, I mean, it's definitely a grind after spring. Playing 50-plus and then doing another 40 here. But, I mean, what else would I rather be doing?
So 50-plus at Cochise Community College, where you played with Francisco Laya. And we know he is a character, La Bestia, indeed. What's that like for you, coming here, obviously? I know Anna wants to talk about some people that you've made friends with as well, but what's it like having a teammate in Francisco Laya?
It's great. It was nice to know Francisco was coming with me. I was supposed to be living with him, but I ended up living with Bryce. It's a different environment, Scottsbluff, compared to where we're at. I mean, 10 miles from the border, and having the team at Cochise being 50% international guys is different, but, I mean, creates friends like Francisco.
Speak Spanish?
Yeah, a little bit.
Un poco.
Un poco. But, I mean, it's a ton of fun. It's cool to, like, see Australians and Europeans and obviously, like, Venezuelans with Francisco. So it's been fun. It's cool.
Yeah, and then, I know you got a little trio going on. So it's you, Bryce Peterson, and Jackson Yeager.
Yep.
I know that you grew up with Bryce Peterson, but, adding Jackson to the mix, how has that been for your little trio that you guys have?
It's been a ton of fun. We obviously work together at the country club, but, I mean, we hang out all the time. So it's been a lot of fun to, especially, like, we're all succeeding right now, which is the better part, too. So we all play JUCO, and it's just, we mesh really well. We have the same personality for sure. So
no, I definitely, when you go into the dugout, those three are always next to each other.
Yeah, we're walking up to the dugout from the parking lot, something like that.
Always hanging out.
You mentioned you guys succeeding, right? And so now all three of you will be going to a new school.
Yep.
So what has that process been for you? Obviously, you're going to University of Mary. Yeager's going to University of Sioux Falls. And Bryce is most likely going to UCCS, right? Down with Ronan Hella in Colorado Springs. So what was that process like for you?
It's hard for sure. I mean, it's going to be a whole new school next year, a whole new program. You have to recreate yourself. But that's why we all went JUCO, too. So we could recreate yourself after 2 years and get to a bigger school that we couldn't have at a high school. But it's nice to see us all go through the same process, and we all have the same thoughts and worries and stuff like that. Me and Jack will be playing each other next year, which is even cooler, I think.
That's awesome.
So it'll be fun for sure.
And then, you've been leading off these past couple of games. How's that been like for you, knowing that you're kind of always put at the top of the list?
It's almost a month now.
It's been a month.
It's been very consistent.
I did not think it'd be this long, if I'm being honest. Luke was out in Kansas, and Shark's like, "Can you bat leadoff?" I'm like, "Sure." And
what'd you do? Because I don't know if you remember it, but
I do remember
first pitch as leadoff, first pitch single to center field.
Well,
it almost seemed like it was a dream reality.
Yeah, I know. Well, it was like I'm swinging no matter what. But I mean, it's been fun. It's honestly way more fun than hitting lower in the lineup. Like, I've always been a 3 or 4 hole guy. I hit 2 hole in high school. So, hitting leadoff, it's a completely different game, mindset, all the above. But
what is that different mindset for you?
Well, 3, 4 hole, you're going to get more off-speed pitches, obviously. You're leadoff, they're going to try to get ahead of you, which I enjoy because you get to hit first pitch fastballs, which as you guys know, I do that all the time. So, it's different.
Don't give away your secrets now.
I know.
People might be watching.
But leadoff, it's just get on base. That's all you got to think about, which I think's helped me a lot. 3, 4 hole, you got to drive and run, stuff like that. But I mean, leading off, it's like get on base. That's all you got to think about.
I want to say it kind of takes the pressure off, right?
Exactly.
Because if you get out, you get out, right? You're going to get out 7 out of 10 times in the game, and you're still going to be a great player. But if you get on, that's even better, right? And so that's kind of that mindset. I feel like there's no worry for you being in the leadoff spot, right?
Yeah, I mean that's definitely another one. It's just a plus. It's like you're not expected to get on, and that's when you play your best. And you're not expecting anything. So that's what I've just been trying to think about.
So these past couple games, you got a walk-off win. How was that for you? How was that feeling?
That's the first one ever. First career walk-off I've ever hit.
Ever in your life?
Ever in my life. So, I mean, that was awesome. My parents were there. My dad coached me in high school, so that was even cooler. But, I mean, that was sweet. How can you not enjoy that?
Yeah, it must be an awesome feeling, and an even better feeling when Coach Jay O'Connor holds you down and then you get doused with Gatorade or water after the game. But
a little tackle moment.
Tackle, it got me good. That's for sure.
Speaking of those kinds of hits, you're leading you're tied with your friend Yeager with 3 home runs on the team lead, right? And so you had one in game day, and you've had 2 at home, I believe, right? So what's that like for you? You know, you hit 3-4, but you're at the top of the order. So when Coy Carpenter's at the top of the order, they're not expecting Coy Carpenter to go yard. But for you to go yard, is that a different feeling for you when you're at the top of the order and go yard?
Yeah, it's definitely different. I mean, I've hit 2 leadoff home runs this year, which is like one of the coolest things I've done in baseball. Especially, I don't hit home runs.
One pitch was at your neck, but you know.
Yeah. So I don't hit home runs, which I think is the even cooler part. I've been calling myself Ricky Henderson because he's hit the most ever leadoff home runs.
Don't let me get your stolen base numbers up.
Yeah, they're not very high. They're not very high.
Hey, you're tied for 4th at 3.
Okay. But I mean, that's a rush that I've never had in baseball. I mean, I hit 1 my freshman year of college, and I hit 0 in high school. So hitting home runs now is definitely different, but you can't think about that all the time either. So,
but it is. I believe it was the Colorado Springs game where you scored like 5 runs, and it was like the final score was like something to 10, I believe. So like, how is that like knowing that like you're getting your RBI in and like that you're like scoring these runs to put points on runs on the board?
I mean, it's awesome. You want to help the team any way you can, and hitting leadoff, that's your run scorer, not a run producer. So, I mean, it's awesome to see that my teammates are getting me in when I do get on base. And even, I mean, our bottom of our lineup's done super well, too, with Coy. And
I mean, last game, Jin was on base 5 out of 5 times.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, we're playing so well right now that it's just awesome how we can do that, how I get the opportunity to score that many times in a game.
Yeah, and you talk about playing well, and it's been one thing to be at home, sleep in your own bed and come to the ballpark and play well. Now, we had a road trip where we didn't play so well.
He's working at 5 in the morning.
Sorry. I mean, you get like 5 hours of sleep, right?
Yeah.
But like you're at home. You don't have to travel as far, and you don't have to get on a bus and go to a game. But we did throw you on the mound in some of those road games, and you showed up. Like, we had Brooks and Ronan at the beginning of the year, and then we said, oh, Kieran Gaffney can pitch too. And you went out there and shoved against Dodge City and Hayes. What was that like for you? Obviously, Sharky how did that experience go? Was Sharky just asking you, or what was that like?
I mean, I pitched in high school. I closed. So it was like, you know what? Like, screw it. Like, I can pitch. I know I can. Give me the ball, and we'll see what I can do. And, I mean, that was awesome. At the Larks place, a ton of people, and pitching well.
And it was extra innings at that point,
innings,
too.
Yeah. I mean, that was definitely a highlight of the summer. I mean, that's a loaded lineup.
That is a all D1 team.
Exactly.
Just about.
So being able to do that, and I mean, I think the first inning I struck out the side.
Yeah,
I mean, like, holy cow, how does that
I think it was
happen?
on 11 pitches too.
Yeah.
So you were that close to immaculate inning. Like,
so I mean, I've always thought myself I played better on the road. So maybe that's another thing that's in my head. But I mean,
so then what can we do? Because we have 7 road games left, right? And right now we stand at 2-10 on the road.
Yeah.
So what can we do as a Pioneers ball club to play better on the road? Not just having Kieran Gaffney like playing on the road. I think we need a little bit more than that. What goes through your mind, and how can we be better on the road?
Well, it's preparation. It's different at home because you're doing the same thing before every game day. But on the road, it's different. Maybe we do get fed. Maybe we don't get fed. But I experienced that so much at Cochise. I mean, we had 4-hour bus rides almost every day. So even just driving to Fort Collins and back, it's like, oh, that's cake. But, I mean, as a team, it's different. It's something you have to get used to. And, I mean, we have 7 left, you said? So maybe we go 7-0. Who knows?
Being on the road, we just talked about, but when you guys come back after this weekend, you guys are playing the Dodge City A's. And I heard some things. So please tell everyone, what was that experience like when you guys went, and what you'll probably be seeing when they come here?
Yeah, I mean, that's going to be a ton of fun. And we split. So we have 2 more. And, I mean, it was a chirpy game, obviously, is from what everyone's heard, I guess. But, I mean, those games are fun. It's when you compete and we get to be in front of our home crowd, which is a completely different.
Section 103 is definitely going to be helping out.
We know who's there in 103. Absolutely.
So, I mean, it'll be a completely different game, and hopefully we get 2 wins out of it.
We hope we get 2 league wins and we sweep them, because we got 3 against them.
Oh, we have 3?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, that's even better, honestly. The more games against them we want. So, I mean, it'll be awesome. Dodge City, it's kind of like our rivalry, I guess. I don't know who else would it be right now. Maybe the Foxes or Cougars.
Yeah, we got them for 4 right after.
Yeah, I did see that. So
one more question for you, or maybe a couple more, but what's it like when you go down to Colorado? We know I've heard a little bit of rumors that your dad might want to start a college team down in Denver, right? But you're from Broomfield, which is about 20 miles or so, a little bit further than that, north of Denver. But there's a lot of teams in that area that we go play. And so this past July 4th, your family was there for those road games. What's that like for you to play in front of family? Because obviously you're in Arizona, which is quite some time away.
It's sweet. I mean, I love when my dad can go to the games. He's one of my best friends. So it's sweet to see him there. And then at game day, I had like 7 of my friends there, which was even cooler. And
oh, trust me, I heard him
broadcasting
I'm sure
the game. You did. I'm sure you did. But like you said, so this summer was the first time I played in Colorado since high school. So it's awesome to be able to get, and especially my mom and my just the family, and my sister came out to a game too.
Yeah,
so.
she had to hear you called Kieran instead of Kieran.
Yeah, that's not the first time. So,
I have 2 more questions. So we always ask everyone, I think, this question: how's your golf swing?
not very good. That's
Not
for
good.
sure.
You work at a
Not
country
very
club.
I know, but it doesn't mean anything.
I worked at a country club last summer, and I've never swung a golf club. That
Yeah.
says nothing. There is no correlation between
Well,
that.
we got another guest that we can ask about his golf swing, and we know
His will be really good.
Yeah.
Yeah. He tries to give me tips, but
And then just kind of like give me like a kind of summary of just this summer, because we have only a few games left. How's your summer been, and who are you gonna be missing the most? Who are you like?
Well, we know who he's gonna miss.
But yeah,
the summer's been a ton of fun. Way more, like, it's probably the most fun I've had in baseball in a while, which is the cool part, and it really brings the love back in the game for you. So I mean, with the fans, I've never played in front of this many people in my life, so that's cool to see. And I mean, obviously I'm gonna miss the trio, Scottsbluff Country Club trio, and it's nice to play with Bryce again, since we played when we were little. And like our coaches that we played for are now like, oh, that's awesome, you're playing together. And, and Jackson, and I mean all the guys, really. We're such a good group of guys. It's meshed so well over 2 months, so it's been good.
What's that like meshing with the rest of the teammates? Because I've kind of called you and Bryce, quote unquote, the elder statesman, because you guys both have that keen personality, but also whenever we have exhibition games, you are the 2 that are coaching the game usually, right? So I kind of call you guys the elder statesmen. What is that like for you? Obviously, I'm sure you have younger guys that are freshmen asking you about stuff, not only life, but also baseball, right? So what's that been like for you as well?
It's been good. We get called the old heads because
should I be saying that on the broadcast instead?
Maybe. But well, especially like the incoming freshmen, it's like you got to tell them how hard it really is to play college baseball. And then those days we get to coach, it's cool because we want to coach one day too. So it's like you won't be able to get to experience that now. So it's cool to be able to like let us do that and stuff like that. But yeah, I mean, we've always been taught to be very stoic, don't show a lot of emotions. So that's where it's come from, and it's worked out.
all right. Well, I think that should be it. Thank you so much for coming on.
Keep breaking, my guy. Keep breaking.
Yeah, I hope to see another few home runs from you this season.
Yeah, hopefully. Don't happen a lot, so.
Hey, but that 345 average is second on the team, so let's keep that up.
Thank you.
Alrighty, next up we're going to have Coach Sharkey come on. Shane Sharkey, our head coach, and we'll ask him a few questions after this break. All right, we're back here with Shane Sharkey, our head coach for this season. How are you doing today?
Awesome. Thank you guys for having me.
Thank you for coming on.
And so, Coach, we'll jump right into it. What's it been like for you being here in Gering and Scottsbluff? Obviously, you're from Texas, and there's a lot of kids from Texas on the team.
Yeah.
In fact, one that even went to the school that you went to.
Yeah.
But what's that like for you just being here? And obviously, you have Jay O'Connor as an assistant coach as well. So what's that been like for you this year?
Yeah, the summer's been incredible. Started all the way back in September, recruiting all these players and talking to different coaches. It was a lot more recruiting than I thought it would be, but it's been so much fun. These guys have gelled since day one. I got the best assistant coaches I could ask for, best staff, best owners, and it's been a lot of fun. It's been hard work. It's been a lot of long days, but it's been such a fun experience.
Ups and downs for sure. We know we had a rough road trip, but for some reason this team just plays well at home. We're 18-6 at home in 24 home games, and we still have 5 more games that truly count after this. So what do you think has been the key to playing so well at home? Is it the fans or is it the players? What do you think it is?
I think we're just comfortable at home. It's great playing in front of all these amazing fans. We get almost sold out crowds every single night, and I think we're just comfortable at our home field. And yeah, I mean, I feel like a lot of teams play better at home, but we're definitely one of them.
Yeah, no. How's this team, like, from where it started to where it is now? How have you seen the team grow?
Outside of losing pitchers.
All right. Coach Jay's not on here right now.
It's not. There's nothing Sharky can do, but you're right.
Yeah, how has this team grown so far since the start of it?
Yeah, I think just building those relationships and understanding what it's like, because in college, you only play about 4 games a week, and yes, you're putting in the work every single day, but when it's like a professional schedule, when you're playing 6 days a week at least, you kind of learn a lot about your body, how to take care of yourself, the routines. You got to get into good routines because it can get kind of monotonous just taking batting practice and going to the game every single day. So you learn the highs and lows when you're in a slump. It's like, all right, what do I got to do to get out of this? When I'm hitting good, how do I keep hitting good? So it's just learning a lot about kind of like the pro life and the everyday routines and trying to figure out how to get better each and every day.
Is that something you did when you were a player, like going through this kinds of stuff? So is it easier for you to understand the mentality that players are going through? Maybe their bodies are hurting at this point in July or something like that?
Yeah, definitely. I played. I got to play in the Pecos League. We played like 65 games in 70 days. So
even more than this, then.
Yeah,
Wow.
Yeah, we played a lot. So I definitely understand what it's like, and I mean, keeping your body healthy and just being healthy is half the battle. Obviously, you want to play good and this and that, but your body's going to break down, so you got to take care of your body, and that's just something I've really tried to emphasize this year with these guys.
Yeah, and we asked Kieran about the Dodge City A's. How are you feeling about this upcoming series that's happening next week?
Yeah, I'm not going to look at it too differently than any other series, but I'm definitely excited. I know their guys were a little chirpy last time, so it'll definitely light a fire under our guys' butts. So I know our guys are going to come ready to play. So, and it's one of our last conference league games. So we're trying to finish on a hot note. We've won 4 in a row, so we're excited to take it to those guys.
Yeah, and you've been here in Gering and Scottsbluff. You had your wife and your young daughter as well.
Little baby.
So, what's that like when is she almost a year?
She's 7 months, just over 7 months.
Okay, so what's that been like for you as well, just having them here with you instead of them being down in Texas?
Yeah, so things kind of changed a little bit. They were not here as much as they should have been, but having them here was so cool. It just made everything easier. Going to the games and being able to come back home and see my wife and daughter just was incredible. So yeah, if we're back here next year, definitely want to get more time with them up here so they can spend pretty much the entire summer up here.
Absolutely. And for you were coached by Coach Jay when you played. Is that correct?
That is correct.
And so now he's on the staff with you. So is that easy for you to gel? Because you were talking about players gelling. Is it hard for coaches to gel at all with you guys coming from all these different areas as well?
Yeah, sometimes it can definitely be tough for coaches to gel, but we've done such a great job. I mean, all 4 of the coaches have gotten along since day one. We all have a lot of similarities. We like the same things, and I don't know if we really had much of an argument over anything. We kind of are on the same page of who to play and where to play them and who to pitch. I couldn't have asked for better assistant coaches than I have this year.
we were talking about it earlier as well with Karen, your golf swing.
Yeah.
So how would you rate your golf swing?
The swing, probably like a 7 out of 10.
The play?
Yeah, it'll play.
How about the play?
The play is probably a 7 out of 10. They're both pretty right there at the average level, above average.
I know that you guys have been, you and the coach, some of the coaches, and Aiden Young have been doing a little bit of a tournament.
Well, that is not fair to be playing
yeah.
against Aiden, because Aiden's been playing since he was a kid. Like,
Yeah.
I mean,
I don't
I'm
know.
just asking questions.
No,
yeah.
You're right. But I just remember when we were on the road trip in Kansas and they saw Aiden swing a club for the first time, and they were like, "Wait a minute, where is this coming from?"
Oh, yeah. Aiden
I
can
will.
play.
I will say though, frisbee golf, not the same, not equivalent. Not that he's bad, but he wasn't superior.
Well, what is his play? Is it, if Sharky's was at a 7 out of 10 in golf, what do you say Aiden's frisbee game is?
I'll give it a 6.5.
Okay.
I actually don't know Sharky's golf swing,
not
so
a frisbee,
I wouldn't.
Not a frisbee golf guy, but yeah, we actually won. We played in a scramble here in Gearing yesterday, and we won. We got first place.
Oh,
Yeah,
not too bad.
Me,
not too
Aiden,
bad.
Jay, and Zach.
That was a different story when we played putt-putt
It was.
in Kansas, which
There's a couple
there's some
teams-
controversy in case you
Yeah.
didn't know about the putt-putt. And Sharky, I don't know if you want to fill the fans in about it.
Let's just say everybody came in with pretty modest scores, around 170 on their team, 175, 173, and then a couple of these guys came in with like a 140. So
We don't know where that came from. You had to play +1 if it went out of bounds. We saw him go out of bounds, but they didn't count it.
Yeah.
But it's all right.
they knew who they are.
It was still talked about the other day when we had our dinner
That was
at,
about a month
at
ago.
Oregon Trail Park. Yeah.
We're still talking about it a month later.
Yeah, so the Oregon Trail Days are this weekend. Are you excited about that, to be able to see the town a little bit?
Yeah, it's always exciting to see what the town has to offer, and it seems like a really big deal to the people of the city. So, just excited to hear some new music and try some different foods and hang out with everybody and get away from baseball a little bit. Should be a lot of fun.
And how hard is that? Because as I look at the schedule, there's only 9 off days in the season, starting from May 28th until July 24th. Make it 7, in fact. So how hard is it to get away from the game of baseball at times, whether that's before games, after games, or on those 7 off days?
Yeah, it can be tough. Baseball is a mental grind as well. So, like I said, I try to tell these guys when we have off days, just get away from the game, go take care of your bodies, go get a workout in. But yeah, you got to be able to, once you leave the field, you got to be able to leave the field mentally as well.
Do you have anything else?
I don't think so. I mean, it's been a pleasure. Obviously, I'm down on the field sometimes before games. Anna's down on the field a lot. So we've appreciated you being so open about this stuff and keeping your players open as well, obviously, because it's not easy to get players to talk about stuff all the time.
Definitely.
And I know you had a conversation with the guys about a week ago or so out by the bleachers before the fans came in.
Yeah.
I guess my last question would be, for me personally, how important is that to check in on your players on that kind of basis?
Yeah, I think it's huge. Like I've told them before, we're not just here to win baseball games. If all I'm doing is winning games, then I'm not really fully doing my job as a coach. We're trying to make these guys better on the field and off the field for when they go back to school and when they go back to college. And just mentally, like if I can make them stronger, help them off the field mentally, then I feel like I'm doing my purpose as a coach and, fulfilling my duties as a coach on and off the field.
Yeah, and then just to kind of finish things off, how has your time been here personally, like you and like being in Gehring?
It's been incredible. I finally got to be back in college baseball. It's been 1 or 2 years since I've been in college baseball, so it's
got
been
to play a little bit
I
a
got
few
to-
weeks ago.
I got a couple.
Although
ABs.
you had some pressure to get a hit in the last at bat.
Man. I was up there trying to hit balls over the scoreboard and did not work well. But no, it's been such a blessing to be here all summer. And thanks to my wife, for letting me come out here and do this all summer and just kind of get to be a kid again and do what I love and chase my dreams and, keep trying to be the best coach that I can be.
All right, well, thank you so much, Coach Sharkey. Next up, we're going to have our social media intern.
Well, our other social media intern.
Peyton Gherkin come on, and we'll just ask her about her time here in Gehring as well. We'll be tuning in right after the break. We are back from our break, and we're here with Peyton Gherkin. She is one of our social media interns. How are you doing today?
I'm good. How are you guys?
We're good. We're good. You've done the social media along with Anna, and it's
The
been
best squad ever right here.
a long trek for you guys from, I guess, to say having a lot of pressure. But what did you do as you go to University of Nebraska in Lincoln? So what have you done at Nebraska?
Yeah, so I'm a sports reporter for their newspaper there, and then I'm also a sports reporter for their student-run television program, I guess. And then I did videography for the Husker baseball team as well.
It's pretty cool. And she's actually, I know she doesn't like when a lot of people say this, but she's one of our youngest interns. But I say that with a lot of pride because she is killing it. As a lot of us are just like old as dirt, and then she, not pointing fingers or anything. Some of us are old as dirt, and she's out here killing it, and just starting off. And I see a very amazing
future.
Very bright future, and amazing future for you. So,
well, thank you.
And so you're from Nebraska as well. And now you're on the western
she
part
says
of the
that
state.
squinting her eyes.
I didn't say
She
anything
says
bad about it.
she lives on the opposite side of Nebraska.
Yeah, she lives
so
on the Lincoln side of Nebraska. So, but what is that like for you? Because you went home for a little bit, but also, it's still 5 hours across the state from where you are.
Yes, so it's actually really different. I don't know what I was expecting coming out here, but I was expecting it to be like my hometown because it's also like a really small town. But coming here, it was like, this is gonna sound so dramatic, but kind of a culture shock because they just it's very different from like the eastern side of the state, and since it's
that's why there's the time zone change.
yeah, that would make sense. I guess I was just assuming it would be like the same since it's the same state, but they talk different. They have different things out here that I'm just not used to. So I don't know. It doesn't really feel like I'm in Nebraska, even though I am.
So what have your some of your favorite memories have been so far during this season? It's coming close to an end. What are some of those things that you're like, I'm not going to forget this?
I think there's just certain moments during the game, when it got rained out and everybody was doing tarp slide, certain moments that we got to capture that I think I still have them on my phone and I probably always will. Just to see I guess the goofier side of the team and all the interns and people just having fun at the games. I really like all those moments because then it doesn't feel like work. It just feels like, oh, I get to capture these moments for these people so they can remember it. So I guess I don't know, all those moments.
No, I agree. One of my favorite moments was when me and Peyton did the tarp slide together for our rain suspension, which fun, knock on wood. Last season they had 10 of those. We've only had one so far.
And we still played that game the next day. But I was gonna ask, how much pressure do you feel? Because what if you miss the moment, right? Do you ever worry about that? Dang, they missed it, and they're like, "Did you get that? Did you get that?" Because they're expecting you to get it. But
I've actually had that. There's
had
been moments where some of them will hit a home run. And I'm gonna be honest, I have my camera turned off. It's not even on. I'm not even close to capturing it. And I do feel bad, but where I am just taking photos, you can't always really tell in those moments anyway. So if I miss their swing, it's whatever because I can get
how many pictures would you have on your phone?
Exactly. I can get
camera?
the celebration, and to me those mean more. They can see their swing in many other photos, but I've definitely had a couple moments or when Anna was gone and I was doing a couple games by myself, I would forget to record something. I missed a walk-off win one time, and I was like, oh, I should have been videoing that. It happens, and I feel bad, but they get over it. So
yeah, and honestly, they forget the next day, and then they're moving on. But what is the first thing when you get home? What are some of the first things
to the other part of Nebraska?
What are some of the first things that you're doing? What are some of the places you're going to? What are you seeing?
Yeah, so when I get home, I'm actually immediately getting back in the car and going on a little road trip with my family. We're a big rodeo family, and Nebraska's big rodeo is coming up at the end of the month. And it's a holiday for my family. So since we are ending our season a little bit early, I actually get to go, and I'm so excited. I'm going to go home and, probably not even unpack. I'm just going to leave my stuff packed and, grab a small bag, I guess, and get on the road again. But I'm gonna go up there. We have a little house up there, and we're gonna go camping and stuff and spend the weekend at the lake and at the rodeo.
That doesn't sound too bad. And so I guess what else is one thing that you've missed outside of your family, just being on the western part of Nebraska, the Panhandle. We'll just call it that. What's something right? Yeah, I didn't even know that there was a Panhandle.
I didn't know that either.
But,
The only Panhandle I know about is the Florida Panhandle, but
Yeah.
I didn't know Nebraska had one too.
Yes. I miss lake days. I live at a lake, and I miss like going tubing with my friends and water skiing, just like being on the lake. And like the relaxation of it all, I guess. Like off days here, I just don't know what to do. But I know like if I was home and I had an off day, I would be at the lake like all day.
For
That's
sure,
awesome.
for
Yeah,
sure.
no. Who are some of the people that like you're not gonna like say like, oh, you should name me, but who are some of the people that you are gonna miss the most from this team? Like, I know I have a few people in my mind that I'm gonna be like, I can't believe it's such a weird thing with internships that you are meeting these people and you're working with them like close side by side, hours upon hours every day, and then in 2 months you go off to your normal lives and
Yeah.
the chances of you guys, seeing each other again, because we're all from different parts of the country. So as much as I want to say, yeah, I'm gonna come to Nebraska to see you.
Yeah, Peyton, I'm not gonna lie. You're
I'm
gonna
so
have, you're gonna have to
sorry.
come to New York or Florida.
Yeah, you're coming to us. Well, maybe I'll see the Omahas
Yeah.
play. That's like I have to go.
Maybe I'll meet you at the College World Series. Like,
Yeah. I mean, I think I'm gonna miss everybody to an extent, but
extent.
But however,
Okay.
comma.
Well, like everybody brings something different to the table, and I feel like everybody has their good days on different days, and so like those are just nice. But I'm gonna miss Patrick. He's
I agree. Patrick's one of the.
she was gonna
Patrick
miss you,
is
Patrick.
the-
We
he's
looked
so
up with a stunned
entertaining.
face, like we were talking bad about.
Patrick has been the glue to all the interns and
He's
really
just-
been like and bringing all of us together to make sure that we're okay and being that light for all of us when we are having like a bad day.
Yes, he's just so entertaining. I'm gonna miss you guys, of course. I mean, I
Of
feel like
course, how could
Why
you
was-
not?
why
we've
wasn't I
traveled
first,
together
Peyton?
a couple
Jeez.
times. You're actually last, Jeff. I'm sorry. We've traveled together a couple times. Anna and I had a really bonding moment in Denver,
Yeah,
so
it was
I gotta
really
miss
fun.
Anna. She's been a great like little mentor to look up to this season. But yeah, that's it.
Absolutely.
Nobody else.
Absolutely.
Just the people in this room.
Where obviously you're going into your sophomore year, so I guess
yeah.
now that you've had an internship, like, and you see what life could be like working for a baseball team. Obviously, you did it at Cornhusker for the Cornhuskers, right?
Mm-hmm.
But like, where do you think you would want to get to in terms of like what you're doing right now?
I really want to work in baseball. That's kind of why I took this internship over like all the other ones I was offered. Just because like I love baseball. I've loved it for many years. It's definitely the sport I want to work in. This internship though, as much as I love doing the social media, it's fun and I could definitely see myself like doing that hopefully for like a pro team, big goals there. But I really just like doing photography and media, like photography, videography, like those are my things. So I think like if I could pick any job, I would be a like sports photographer for a pro baseball team somewhere.
Yeah, no. And honestly, like I said, like you have a very bright future, so I don't see that not happening for you. Many people aren't doing internships in between their freshman and sophomore year. So big pat on the back to you. I'm going to do it for you since
Thank
you don't
you.
have to.
Thank you.
How do you feel though that we do have only 6 home games left, like 6 more games to cover and that's it, like, and then we're done, like that's it.
It's crazy. I mean, as much as I'm ready to go home and see my family because I miss
Hey,
them
you had
so
a chance
much.
once.
Okay, as much as I'm ready to go home and see them, I'm gonna miss everybody here. Like it's so weird to me to think that we're gonna spend like all summer together and then I'm
Yeah.
probably never gonna see anybody again because we all live everywhere. And it's gonna be weird, like not waking up and being like, "Oh, it's game day!" Like I'm so ready
Yeah.
to go, getting to take all these photos. Like I really love getting to go take photos for game days, and so it's gonna be weird that all of a sudden that's just gonna be like over, and then I have to like wait a whole year to do something like this probably again. So
Yeah, no, I definitely like it's a weird feeling to know that like in less than a few weeks, like we're literally gonna go back to our normal lives. And because this internship to me, like there are days where I'm like, this has felt so short. But there are other times where I feel like I've been doing this for a full year at this point, and how this has been a year-long thing, and I've known you guys for a year, and I'm not gonna see you guys again. This has been my first internship, and I'm so glad to have shared it with someone so awesome and who is really good at learning everything that needs to be done for social media. Like, coming on here thinking you're just going to be taking photos and then being able to take on such a difficult task, because social media is one of those things that kind of goes unnoticed how difficult it actually is. I'm going to go on a little spiel real quick, but social media is really hard when it looks like you're just taking goofy photos or videos of players, or you're making content. It's 24/7 almost, and it's really hard to turn it off. So with that being said, what is your things that you've been doing here to kind of like get out of social media? Because I know that's really hard to do when you work in social media.
Like, what am I doing?
Yeah, like what are you doing to like clear your mind, to
Okay.
like get out of working?
Don't say reading, because you just started reading now.
No, I was just going to say this is going to sound so nerdy, but
She
I
does
love
read, though.
reading. I read all the time. Like, I go home after games and I'll like edit photos, get them posted, and then the second I'm done with that, I pick up a book and start reading, and then I read until like 3 a.m. because
Just
it
want
takes
y'all to
me like a
know,
while.
I saw Peyton pick up a book for the first time on like the 7th of July. That was the
Okay,
first time
okay,
I've seen her.
hang on.
She actually reads a lot, though. Like,
I read
she-
a
we've
lot.
talked about
I just
this.
don't bring them to the ballpark because when am I gonna read there? Except for lately.
She doesn't want to look like a loser. I'm just kidding. I'm kidding. I wish I could read so much. Like,
It's so nerdy, but
I
like I
envy
love
it.
reading.
I think it's a great thing. Like, my dad always told me to read, and I never wanted to read because I was doing sports all the time. But like, it does help you learn a lot of stuff and learn new words and everything. And I think it's a great thing to have, and it also helps you calm your mind, right? Like, you
Yes.
can focus on one thing at a time.
I'm saying it's like a nice little escape, takes my mind off of things. It's like I'm not focusing on like what I have to do for work or stuff like that. I'm so like absorbed in the book and the story there. It's great.
yeah, well, thank you so much, Peyton. Seriously, if it was any other intern, I don't think we would have killed the social media like we have. Like, not to say that no one would have been able to do it, but we just clicked so well. I see you very much like not to say that you're significantly younger than me, but when, she's 19, I'm 21, and like, I see myself in you a lot. Like when I like think of myself back when I was like 19, back in my day, back when I was 19, like I see myself in you a lot. So it's like being able to just kind of like know that we're on a very same page with a lot of things. So I'm glad to share this time with you and be working very closely with her.
Absolutely, and I think when we come back, we'll wrap things up for the Extra Innings show on our second to last show of the year, and then we'll get ready to set things up for next week.
Our final show.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we'll come back from the break, like Jeffrey said. And we are back for our little final segment of a recap as well as the secret word. Again, if you don't know the rules of the secret word, if you say the secret word at tonight's game to the merch truck, the first 3 people will get a prize. So the secret word today is golf. We talked about it a lot today. Kieran working at a golf course. Kieran working at a golf course. Sharky's 7 out of 10 golf swing. Kieran, what he said was not a great golf swing. But, yeah, so, there's only a few weeks left. The playoffs are no longer happening. That was just an agreed something that was just an agreed upon by the other coaches and the players.
Two teams dropped out, and a lot of teams just don't have enough pitching left. But we still have 12 games or so.
We have this weekend where the boys are away. Then we have the 3-game home series Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Then Friday, Saturday, they're away again in Fort Collins. Then they come back for our final games, the 21st and 22nd. 22nd is Fan Appreciation Night, which, excuse me, and we'll be giving away a whole bunch of stuff. Pretty much everyone's going to be leaving with something.
Yeah, absolutely. And obviously, there's a doubleheader on Sunday, so it's a little bit of an earlier start. It'll be in Cage Rat down in Colorado Springs. So, of course, the games will be on KNEB Radio, and the 5 last home games, including the one today, making it 6, will always be on the YouTube page right here where you're watching the Extra Innings show. So make sure you click the bell if you want to be notified for when the games are going to start.
Yeah, and follow our social media just on Facebook, X, Instagram, TikTok. We'll be posting stuff again. Me and Peyton, again, we run that. So we'd love for you guys to see our stuff and share it and like it and comment on it. So.
And next week we'll have another player that we'll decide on in the middle of the week. But we also know that we'll have Brandy Barquin, one of our interns, the last intern to be on the Extra Inning show. And then we'll display all the interns at the end as well.
Maybe we'll have them each ask us a question and have them interview us.
Maybe. But the Pios still have a full week of games as they'll be playing 7 games over the next 6 days, really, before we have our next Extra Inning show.
Yeah, like I said, Fill the Park is today. So make sure if you didn't grab your tickets, you go on our Instagram, find out what businesses those are, and go get your tickets. We hope to see you there tonight. And this has been the Extra Inning Show. I'm Anand Semba.
I'm Jeffrey Nelson.
Thank you guys for watching.